So I call Peter Aldous.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker, and most grateful to you for that clarification. I'm grateful to my right honourable friend, the Minister, for setting out the government's proposals for the police funding settlement for 2024-2025. Suffolk is due to receive an increase in core funding of 6.7% and hotspot response finance of £1 million. These settlements are welcome, but there are three issues that I would briefly like to raise, and certainly two of them have already been addressed in some detail. And the first of those is the funding review. Suffolk at present receives the fourth lowest funded force in the UK, and as such we are looking for the long-promised funding review to be carried out as soon as possible. Many of the challenges that we face are very similar to what we hear is happening in Cornwall as well. Now, on the 27th of November, at Home Office Questions, I asked my right honourable friend for an update on the progress of the review, and he responded by stating that he completely accepted the need for a new police funding formula, that his team had been working on it extremely hard with colleagues across government, and he hoped to have something to say on the topic very shortly. And it is in this context, as we've heard this afternoon, I would be most grateful for a further update on the progress of the review as to when we can expect to see the draft proposals for the new formula. There is a worry, as we've heard, that the review is being kicked into the long grass, and I do hope that my right honourable friend can allay this concern in his summing up. The second point I'll come on to, Madam Deputy Speaker, is for a police and crime commissioner, such as Tim Passmore, the PCC in Suffolk, budgeting presents considerable challenges, and he and other PCCs, I believe, are entitled to expect consistency in the commitments that are provided by government. And in this respect, the changes in funding for the Safer Streets initiative are disappointing. Initially, the Home Office offered Suffolk £1.4 million. This was then reduced by £400,000, and they are now taking away a further £180,000. Madam Deputy Speaker, this approach is, I would suggest, unfair and penalises smaller forces such as Suffolk, who through no fault of their own now face a funding gap without any explanation nor justification being given. I would therefore ask my right honourable friend to review this decision, which affects not just Suffolk, but forces all around the country. Finally, Madam Deputy Speaker, as we've heard, it's not just about money. A policeman's lot can be made considerably easier and hopefully happier if red tape is reduced. In this regard, I applaud the work of Ben Hudson, who is the Secretary and Treasurer of the Suffolk Police Federation, ably supported by my honourable friend, the member for Loughborough, to their campaign to amend the Data Protection Act so as to mitigate the impact of the bureaucratic burden of evidence redaction which is imposed on police officers when seeking charging decisions from the Crown Prosecution Service. A further amendment to the Data Protection and Data Information Bill is being tabled in the other place by the noble Baroness Morgan, and I would really urge the government to look at this issue very, very closely and do all they can to accept it. It will, in doing so, free up thousands of policing hours every year, as pre-charge redactions would not be required, and it would enable chief constables to better utilise allocated budgets, which, as we are hearing today, are restricted and is not quite as bountiful as we would all hope for. Madam Deputy Speaker, in summing up, what I would just say is we need that long overdue funding review, and I hope my honourable friend can allay the concerns that I've expressed. We need funding commitments that are, when they're given, that they are adhered to and are kept. And finally, as I've said, please, please, less red tape. Thank you.